Exactly.
Hi, it's me and Charlotte from the future of what you're about to listen to, but from the past of you now, almost definitely. So we recorded this podcast. Do you remember when we recorded?
January. It was in January.
Is it January?
Yeah.
Okay, that's ages ago from now, but even further from you. And once we'd finished recording it, we realized that we'd unintentionally ended up talking about much heavier stuff than we intended to. And I, for one, had potentially been much more clumsier with language around that topic than I would have ever liked to have been. So we've recorded another podcast where we kind of continue that discussion and we talk about how differently we feel about it a few weeks later. So this thing doesn't exist in a bubble, as none of them do, but this one even more so. And there'll be links wherever you put those for however you're listening to this in order to find that. And we'd love to continue that discussion with you after the fact. So if you also have any other feelings about this or that, then just reach out.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that? Do you now feel safe in moving through? Is that okay?
Yeah.
I don't mean do you feel safe? That's the wrong word to use. I mean like cool?
Yes, I feel good. Yes.
Awesome.
Have this
Well,
conversation.
Yeah, thanks for bearing with us. And we'll see you on the other side.
Yeah.
We need to clap sync. Why didn't you clap? I always clap, but you're going to clap today. That'll do nicely. So I've just noticed that your earrings are little face people.
Faces, they're little people.
What? Can I?
Yes.
Nice. That's a person with their eyes closed.
Yeah.
A lady person, the eyelashes would suggest, but I don't want to assume.
I don't want to assume the
gender
of
of
my
your earrings.
Thank you so much.
Hello and welcome to the Forthwall with me, Lopresti. This episode is brought to you by Resting Face, having asked people, "Are you okay?" 50 times a day. Do you get that?
Yes.
And I'm here with Ellen DeGeneres. It's so nice to meet you. So nice of you to take time out of your busy schedule.
Thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here.
What does she do on her show? I've never watched it.
Oh my God, have you not?
No,
have you not
hold on. Okay, so I'm here with Charlotte McEvoy.
Yeah, no, I'm not Ellen DeGeneres.
The wonderful, yeah. Hence why I said the show rather than your show. I'd be far politer if you were Ellen DeGeneres. Although, I heard not very nice in real life.
I don't know.
And I have a theory about this, which is she's so nice outwardly to the public. You know what I mean? Like as a stand-up and chat person, that anything other than giving you a hug kind of comes off a bit cold. But apparently there are stories that she's not.
So with that logic, does that mean you're so nice to yourself that you have nothing left to give to other people?
Oh, no. What I mean is that she's such a nice personality on the if you were to watch the show, which I don't, if you were to,
yeah,
she's really nice.
Yeah, I
and
love
therefore,
it.
if she doesn't treat you that way when you meet her, you might come away going, "Oh,
okay, I get it."
Happened?
Yeah, I don't know. I always think it's very difficult to know if celebrities are nice or not, because I mean, you don't know who they are, like, when they're just chilling out.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone ever will.
No, and it's specific to that format, which is very much the opposite to this, which is let's get this dense. Let's get this done. And what does she do?
So
I'll tell you what I know. Dances with people, sometimes gets people to jump out at other people. Those are the two things I know.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that it?
No.
Okay, sorry.
No, she plays games.
Like?
Heads Up.
What's Heads Up?
So it's an app you can get on your phone, and you put it on your head, and like this.
Oh, I've played that game.
And then you can do you are accents or your characters or your any categories or whatever, and then the person who is sitting opposite you. So if it was me, you'd have to describe it to me without using the word.
Of course, or act it out sometimes.
Yes,
I've seen ones where okay.
Yeah,
so
stuff like that.
Is that her app? Is it Ellen DeGeneres' app?
Heads Up? Don't know.
Because that's interesting, her using that on her show. You see what I mean?
You leave Ellen alone, please.
Sorry, yeah. Let me just fuck up. Sounds like I've got some.
What does she do to you?
I
You don't
really
even
don't know.
watch her
I
show.
don't.
I, for one,
Okay,
am a fan.
you like
I
Ellen
really like.
DeGeneres?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm glad. Listen, I didn't realize when I called you that name on a whim that it would lead us down this
I know.
this wonderful.
Who am I
rabbit
going to
hole.
be next?
I don't
Jodie
know. I think
Foster?
you're Ellen DeGeneres. If you had to do the same to me that I did to you, what would you? Who?
Steve Carell,
Okay, nice. Yeah, I'll live with that.
but specifically in The Office.
But you haven't seen that either.
No.
So you're also going off kind of blind. Okay, yeah, I can live with that. I feel two things.
Is that it? What's that like?
At a time. Firstly, he's quite short, and he looks quite short, stood next to people. So my Napoleon complex kind of starts to kind of wobble a little bit.
Short man
And I
syndrome,
think-
like Curly in Of Mice and Men.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think
dangerous,
I have
that.
Curly. I haven't thought about that book in a long time. Curly, no.
Curly's a small fighty one,
Yeah.
and Curly's wife wears red because she's dangerous.
Yeah, no, I don't think. No, I don't have that.
Take
kind
that for your
of,
GCSEs.
I don't have that kind of Napoleon complex.
Okay.
Luckily, who knows? Maybe I'll develop it
Yet, yeah,
in later
so-
life.
What was the other thing you feel? Can you remember?
Oh, not quite.
Oh dear.
No, not really.
Oh dear.
Just that.
Just that he's short.
So I've Googled. I've talked about this in another episode, so we won't dwell on this. But I have Googled Steve Carell's height
Yeah.
when he stood next to people because I wonder if my head is in the same place as his head is at next to people that are taller than him.
How tall are you?
5'7" in shoes. I think that's a fair way to put it. I'm like 5'6.5" or something.
Okay.
Not, but who cares about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 5'4", so it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm okay with it. We don't need to talk about it.
Although you did ask me not to wear high heels in the play we did together.
Oh yes, but that was
Was that a character choice?
a little bit
Yeah. Okay.
because who we were supposed to be quite intimidating, kind of. I don't know. You weren't supposed to feel that comfortable around us,
No.
and
Like the Chuckle Brothers, but evil.
yeah, absolutely, just as uncomfortable, just as evil as the Chuckle Brothers.
Yep.
So if you were taller than me, I felt like that my aggression,
Oh, you felt it would affect your performance if I was taller than you.
it would have come across as curly
And
rather
it's
than
why.
rather than actually being.
Um.
However, it wasn't that big a deal, and I was kind of half joking. But I often find, I'm curious if you agree with this. This is more Oprah talk now than
God, we're
Ellen.
going through them all, aren't
We've
we?
swung into Oprah territory.
Well, how do you feel about Oprah before we begin?
Fine.
Okay.
Fine. Fine. Never really watched a lot of Oprah, to be
Me
honest.
neither.
I only know that You Get a Car. Is that her?
And you get a
You get a
car.
car,
And you get a car.
Yeah.
And you get a car. Yeah.
Oh no, I saw her interview Lance Armstrong on his I'm Sorry tour.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway, I saw that. But I feel like we all do. We have these slightly embarrassing thoughts and opinions in our head.
Right.
And I always find it far better to voice them and hear how stupid they are. Rather than, I think there's something different about letting them fester in your own head.
So if you say it, like a problem shared is a problem,
Kind of.
not
Well,
mine anymore.
So don't you wear high heel. But so with that would have been a thought. I might look really short if she wears high heels. Whereas that's a stupid thing to say that you'd only ever say to yourself. And by saying it publicly, it loses a lot of its power because we get to go, ha 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 ha, how ridiculous is that?
And it makes me feel like, oh, well, I'm not allowed to wear high heels. So
Oh, did it? Well, look,
I couldn't find any high heels that fit me, so don't worry about it.
killing two birds with one stone there because I felt better and you didn't do it.
And I didn't waste money on shoes that I wasn't going to wear again.
Yeah, so there
yeah,
you go.
I've got foot problems. I can't be dealing with that.
You want to go there?
Do I want to talk
Foot
about
problems.
my foot problems?
Now we're hitting like kind of Dr. Phil kind of
Does Ellen
fish-
DeGeneres have foot problems?
embarrassing bodies, that show. I don't know if Ellen DeGeneres has
Dr.
foot problems.
Phil isn't embarrassing bodies. That's Dr. Christian.
Dr. Christian, yeah. No, but does Dr. Phil ever? No, Dr. Drew does some embarrassing body stuff, but he.
Dr. Dre.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about your feet? We don't have to.
No, thank
I'll tell you
you.
my foot thing.
Oh God.
Foot thing makes it sound like I have a foot thing, and that's not
Okay,
what I'm going.
right. Oh, go on. Just what is
So
it? Otherwise,
on
it's gonna keep
one
me
of my
awake.
toes, I can't remember which one it is from memory. My toenail, perfectly healthy, looks perfectly normal,
Okay.
except the bit right at the edge seems to be separate from the rest of the toenail.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, so it sort of there's like a slight ingrown.
Did your toenail split
I'm
and it's
feeling
like
the
grown
glow.
funny?
It's yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not that noticeable.
Right.
It's only noticeable because it sometimes catches on socks.
Ow.
That's the only time I notice it.
Ow.
And it may actually be fine now because I'm not.
You haven't looked in a
I
while.
haven't noticed it yet.
Well, guys,
I don't take a lot of care of my.
you should take a lot of care of your feet.
No, I clean them.
Okay.
I-
Do you use a foot mask?
Foot mask. No, is a foot mask a thing?
What? Yeah. Oh my God! I should have bought some. We could have done it whilst we did this.
That would have been
That would have
brilliant.
been so nice.
That would have. I did see on the American Office, Kevin bought himself one of those foot spas. And I've
Yeah.
now reached the age where I'm like, that would be nice.
That would be so nice. You come home after a long day and you're like, let's put the foot spa on.
People around me have been reminding me that I've been getting older much more recently than they have
What are
before.
they noticing? You're going grey.
So you've looked at my hairline. No. You immediately went, what's going on? What's going on upstairs? And the answer is thinning. Not a lot of grey, though. I got grey in uni because I was stressed, and then
That's okay.
I haven't since. But it is thinning. There's a lot of bald heads at the family dinner table. So
Oh,
I just live with
no.
it. But that's, hey,
You can get some of that spray.
I'm through that.
You're over it.
And then hope it doesn't rain. And
Is that
dribble.
also why you didn't want
dribble
me to be
down.
taller than you? Because then I'd be able to see the top of your head.
Oh, no, the top of my head's okay.
Right.
I seem to have the thinning. I have the. This will mean nothing to you. How familiar are you with bald men and men at varying stages of baldness?
Well, it depends. Are we talking about bald men in general, or like a specific?
Like celebrity bald men, I feel like is where this is going.
Yeah.
So
Mark Strong,
Mark Strong.
cracking bald man.
Oh yes, he is bald.
Yeah. yes. Yes, he
no,
is.
but I've got the kind of so there's bald from the back. There's bald from the back, which I'm kind of relieved I don't have. That feels like a bit of a dignity stripper.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean? I've got kind of edge baldness,
Yeah.
kind of widow's peak.
Yes.
Baldness.
Well, so do I.
Yeah, but I'm heading to Bruce
I've-
Willis, Die Hard 3 territory baldness, rather than. But I feel you get to keep your hair a bit more. I think eventually I'm going to have to go the,
Shave it off.
Picard, Patrick Stewart kind of,
Pat Stewart also
Jason
bald.
Statham,
A lot of
Stanley
very
Tucci,
yes. Oh
kind
my-
of bald.
there's so many.
And I think you've just got to commit.
I think so.
Admit it, know when the party's over.
Yeah. I know when to leave.
Know when there's nothing to be gained from remaining at the party.
Know when there's nothing more to be done.
Yeah. So we've done toes and hair.
And heads.
What else should I be doing to keep myself in tip-top?
Condition. Face mask.
I have done those on occasion, not regularly.
Why?
Should I have a skincare routine?
Yes.
Because I've been reading more and more about
Yes.
that on social media. People talking about theirs, and I don't really know
I think so.
what to do. Okay.
I had, we're going to get deep for a 2nd, really, really bad skin when I
Okay.
was younger, when I was like 12. So before all my friends did, I had really bad acne.
Yeah.
So I've like messed around with my skin a lot and kind of finally worked out what was best.
Okay.
And having a good skincare routine is so nice. You find products that work for you.
Uh-huh.
And I think, do you wear sun cream?
I've got into sun cream more.
Yeah, that's good. Moisturize?
No.
See,
So, I've often wondered this. So the reason I started this particular podcast was, I think there's a very. I feel like we're conversing like we've been friends for years,
yeah.
and that's partly our professionalism, understanding what this is, which is we have to talk to each other.
Who are you?
Otherwise, this doesn't work. Yeah, but we haven't known each other very long.
No.
And I think there's something about creative people working in teams, specifically performers, but I think creative people as a whole, I think performance, because it's so much about, it's so often about the relationship between people. That means you become friends very quickly, and there's a very specific style of conversation.
Yeah.
But I also wonder, and this might not be a question we can answer, whether because we're performers, if we spend more time thinking about our outward appearance, and if our outward appearance is different to how other people think about their outward appearance on a daily basis.
Interesting.
How do you feel about me putting that out
God. So, actually thinking about it, I didn't go a day without wearing makeup until I got to university. That was like...
How do you mean?
So I put makeup on every day.
Okay.
Like,
I'm with you.
What do you mean?
Sorry. No.
Jesus Christ.
I realised that was a dumb question, and your
So
answer absolutely was perfect to what I said.
I wore makeup every day if I was going out.
Okay.
So like out in to school or anywhere.
To school, even?
Yeah, I wore
Okay.
makeup at school. And I only didn't do that I only stopped doing that in university because a girl in like 2 years with me who I thought was really cool. She would like put an Instagram about not wearing makeup, and I was like, I want to be like you. I'm going to do it too. And I did it.
Yeah.
And the world didn't end.
Okay.
And it's like, I've always been very conscious of my appearance. I've always had fringes and worn...
We're talking about hair fringes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And
Just in case I missed something. I missed a memo at some point where fringe meant something else.
and like wearing scarves
Uh-huh.
and hiding behind your hair is like a big thing. But so yeah, when I got to university, I didn't wear makeup every day, and I also chopped all my hair off in second year.
As in off.
Like
As
pixie
in-
cut, like
As in Picard.
no,
Patrick Stewart.
no, as in like a little bit longer than yours.
Oh, okay. Cool. And where am I now? If you had to,
What?
if you had to visually describe it to someone who couldn't see me,
Oh, okay. So you're like,
hypothetically speaking, say we were having this conversation on a podcast.
whoa.
How would you?
Please calm down.
Sorry.
I'm
Sorry.
going home.
Okay. Go on. Yeah.
So
Best of luck
think,
finishing this. You
think Mia Farrow in Rosemary's Baby.
nice. Okay. Got you. Okay. I'm there.
Okay.
Bang.
Olivia Colman in Broadchurch.
Nice.
That sort of super short.
Right. Okay.
Pixie
Yeah. Got
cut.
you. Uh-huh.
And I think when you do that, you force yourself to not have anything to hide behind. Is one thing, but also then going on stage or rehearsing or being in front of people and not having anything to hide behind, you sort of is really scary. But then on the other side of that, you sort of be like, well, like, as a performer, they're not watching me to see if I look pretty or not. They're watching me to see if I get the character and the emotions. That was someone screaming.
I think that too. Sorry. So outside where we're recording, there are kind of what would you call them? They're
Doors?
Like saloon doors. Yeah, but they're doors that open. They can open in or out.
Okay.
And when you let go of them, they kind of flop like at a restaurant. I'm sure there's a technical name that isn't saloon doors, but that's what I know it as. And they squeak, and they do sound like someone
That
screaming.
was screaming.
Yeah, a couple of times here I've had to go into what I call go mode, which is there's a problem.
I must fix it. I am mad.
I must deal with this, yeah. And then I talk myself off a ledge.
Oh my god.
But sorry, you were saying that an audience isn't interested in as much as you being, can I say attractive? You said pretty, but am I getting it the same?
Yes, exactly the same.
Yeah.
And I feel like I now, having gone through university and being 23, I know that I am not that stereotypically attractive Hollywood actor, and that's so fine. Like some of my people actresses that I'm completely in love with and I adore, say like Helena Bonham Carter or
Ellen
Olivia
DeGeneres?
Colman. Ellen DeGeneres is not an actor.
Oh, she's been in movies.
Has she?
Yeah, and she had a sitcom for ages, as far as I know. Again, never seen it, but
Oh no, I'm sorry, Helen.
not that I blanketly avoid anything that she's in. I'm sure she's been. She must have been in a film I've seen.
You have to Google it.
Keep going. Yeah.
But some of the best actors are the ones who look interesting. I'd rather look interesting and a bit weird than just nice.
And I think that's a kind of weird So I feel, following on from that, a lot of what you're saying rings really true. I didn't wear makeup every day till I was 15. Almost the opposite. I think from 15, that was when makeup kind of opened up. But I often feel like there's this weird thing where you either have to be very attractive or very weird looking. And I've often resented both not being attractive enough and
Being
or
weird looking enough.
like weird enough. But I feel like that with lots of, and it's probably just me, but I think that's the thing people don't often realize is actually having a different look even. I don't want to say alternative look because I think that conjures up a different kind of image, but having something that's unique and a face that's memorable, even if it's not because it's gorgeous, is often as good, if not better, than just being Orlando Bloom at peak Pirates of the Caribbean.
And
level.
there's nothing wrong with being Orlando Bloom at peak Pirates of the Caribbean level, but Orlando Bloom at peak Pirates of the Caribbean level already exists. So
and other people can do that, if you see what I mean.
yeah, and go for it. If you can do that, do it.
As in, if it wasn't him in Lord of the Rings or Pirates of the Caribbean, they would have got someone else equally attractive to do it. I mean, it helps that he's Orlando Bloom and clearly talented beyond his looks.
Exactly.
But there's not a shortage of attractive people trying to do the thing, you know?
Yeah. And I think if you see yourself as not as attractive as that, then it doesn't necessarily mean you don't stand a chance.
It's not as much of a barrier.
No.
And I think there's a really specific kind of honesty thing you have to do, which is kind of like, am I the right look for this?
Yeah, like there's so many roles, you're probably the same, so many roles that I want to play and that I want to be in things and that kind of thing. You do have to kind of take a step back and be like, I'm not going to actually do that.
Which is kind of weird, but okay. And I think as a performer, you kind of have to make your peace with that on some
absolutely.
level. Not that, because I remember I had an audition for something that was pretty major.
Oh, do I know about this?
This wasn't recently. This was when I was 17.
Oh.
And
I think, okay.
by accident, complete accident, I had, the audition was going well, and I didn't nail it because of me, right? I totally didn't nail it because of me. I think this was pre me going to college. I went to college a bit later. It was a different kind of course with Nick, our esteemed friend. That's how I know Nick.
Oh,
Nick.
yeah.
This is pre Nick's influence. There was another guy, Josh, as well, but pre their influence, where I would say I started to take things seriously.
Yes.
And kind of where the money dried up as well. It's funny how that. Anyway, and this audition was going well. And in hindsight, I know that's not because I was wonderful. I didn't end up getting the thing, but I did get to see the thing. So it was a television thing, and I got to see
what could have been
the thing. Yeah. And in hindsight, it's way better that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I then realized, I was like, oh, damn. I was only getting through because I had kind of dressed like what they were imagining that thing was going to be. So they hadn't told me what the part was.
Yeah.
But in watching it, I was immediately like, right, so I wasn't that great. Because I was coming back to it, 2 or 3 years later than when I'd done it. And I was like, so just because I happened to be wearing the right jacket, shoes, and kind of the right haircut, all of a sudden, based on nothing else, and it was kind of both. At the time, it was a bit depressing because I was 20. But it was also kind of liberating in hindsight as well because it kind of took the pressure off.
Oh, 100%.
A bit, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I had to.
It doesn't mean that you're a bad actor if you, and that's what I found with drama school. Like, it doesn't mean that you're a bad actor if you don't get in. It just means that they maybe have someone who reminds them of you, or they don't see you working with the people that they've got at the moment.
Drama school auditions are really weird. How many have you done?
Oh my! How dare you?
Sorry.
So
No.
many, Tom.
Yeah, but that's fine. Me too. I'd like. It's at least. We're pushing close to 7, I think.
I think I've done
About the you know.
or more. Yeah, in 2 years.
And there's this huge culture of, oh, you never get in on the first go. There's a huge thing of, you know, to show you're dedicated.
Yeah, they'll just say no to see if you come back. Or whatever.
Audition, wait a year. And firstly, I'm not particularly cool with that. I think that's a really, that feels like a very old system of we've got the keys to the kingdom and you jump through these hoops and all that. But hey ho, it works for some people and that's wonderful. But it is odd because there's a. I feel that industry auditions are not as competitive as drama school auditions. I don't know if you feel.
I haven't done an industry audition.
Well, yeah, but we auditioned for the last thing we were in, right?
Yeah.
We auditioned for that. That counts. That's totally an industry audition.
Okay.
I mean.
Oh yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah, I mean
That was
auditions
chill.
like out in the world.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No.
No, but that totally counts as like an industry. Am I sounding defensive? My voice is going.
Oh, oh my god! All the dogs just started barking.
Yeah.
Drama school. So I've done a BA, so I'm auditioning
I did the same thing.
for MAs.
Oh no. Right. Yes. I didn't do the same thing.
Okay.
I was
great.
auditioning to do the BA at the drama school,
Oh yeah, no.
and then went a whole other direction.
So I did a BA at university, and my whole 5-year plan was do the BA and then the next year get on an MA, and I didn't, and then next year I didn't again. But they're so strange. I can't speak for BA auditions, but MA auditions are okay. They're all right.
Oh, okay.
Because you're not this plucky, fresh out of secondary school 18-year-old who's I'm gonna go to drama school for 3 years, blah, blah, blah. You're however old anyone is, you can be 21, 22, or you can be 40. And
Yes.
it doesn't matter. And there's that kind of, you've already done a bit of life. You've already you like acting so much that you want to do a master's degree in it. You want to go back into education and do a master's degree in it. And it feels, the MA auditions feel a lot more collaborative.
Oh, okay.
And they feel a lot less, which is weird because often there's less spaces on an MA course, but they just feel like they're not the end of the world. I think that's quite a nice thing to realise, is that it's life goes on. There's other things that you can do.
Yeah.
It's not the be all and end all of an acting career.
And I had one drama school audition where we were doing it in a circle. So everyone was watching in the circle, but of course you've got to play to the guy. And I decided not to because probably I'm an idiot, right? It's just a blanket statement.
Subversive.
Or I was even more of an idiot then than I was now.
Wow.
I know, right? This is what we're talking. But I was doing the thing and doing the speech and great. And then I was kind of catching everyone's eye because that kind of relaxed me a bit because I was kind of well, this is just like any other thing. It's not to this guy who's writing stuff down. But I did look at him at one point, and he just kind of sat there. He was just he had kind of a strain in his eyes, and a strain in his face, and a kind of head tilt that was very. I don't think he did anything wrong, by the way, but there was this head tilt that was very kind of You know the way
Are you sure?
You know the way you'd look at a squirrel and kind of try and you'd be like, what is the squirrel thinking?
What are you thinking?
What is that squirrel up to? I would have settled for squirrel, but it was look at that squirrel try.
Yeah, there was
But
no
instead it was kind of,
recognition.
what? He's gone around the tree 3 or 4 times.
Is he okay?
But yeah. But anyway, that completely. I remember at that moment I was like, oh, this isn't gonna work. God. But that was okay, and that was.
And it's all good experience. I know it is a bit of
Yeah.
a cliche, but every audition you do is good experience. You often see the same people,
Yeah.
and it's just nice to go to the school and meet some people. I find it quite fun. I love watching other people as well. I absolutely love it. And not in the way that I can be like, what are they doing? But in the way that I actually really enjoy seeing how other people audition and what
go for
monologues
it.
they do.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's a highlight.
yeah. I
So-
like it.
I wouldn't want to assume anyone's gender, nor would I want to make light of assuming anyone's gender. And I realize by putting a hat on it, I kind of am. But you're a lady person.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Where's this going?
Let's just
Yeah.
put that out there.
I am.
I'm one of those male men.
Oh, yeah. men.
Yeah. And jumping back slightly, I've been struck more recently by, I was reading something about how there aren't that many great parts for older women. And at the time, I didn't know if firstly, I think those blanket statements aren't particularly helpful, no matter what angle. It was very much kind of, but who knows? Sometimes the headline gets changed to what the article is supposed to be, but there are no good parts for older women. And I think it's really interesting that what you were saying about looking different
Yeah.
seems to work better for men as they get older,
Than women.
less so than it does for women.
Yeah.
It's an odd one.
This is really so weird because I watched All About Eve.
Okay,
The other night. Do you know it?
No, but
Okay.
It's exciting. I'm looking forward to where this is going.
So All About Eve, I watched the National Theatre live screening
Okay, yeah.
with another one of the loves of my life, Gillian Anderson.
Cool.
My Dana Scully t-shirt is my prized possession. I don't know if I ever wore it to rehearsals, but it's just my favourite thing. And All About Eve is about an actress who is 50.
Right.
And this young girl comes along, and it's all kind of about growing older in the theatre. And, kind of her name's, Gillian Anderson's character's name is Margot, and she is this kind of aging actress. And it's all about her, like, what everyone perceives to be her paranoia at this younger actress coming in and like stealing her roles and her husband and all that kind of thing. And so it's just interesting that you brought that up. But obviously Margot in itself is a role for an older woman.
Yeah.
About
That's
not
really
having
cool.
roles for an older woman.
I think that's a really cool way to go about it, because I do think sometimes I think it's really obvious when people start to write something with an agenda. But that sounds like a really fun way to talk about those things without necessarily having, and also great because you can write great monologues, because of course an actress would be talking about monologues and do it. Yeah.
And it was really, I think it's very difficult for older actresses to come into the industry.
Yeah.
I think it's so much easier. Like you look at what people would consider in quotes older actresses now
And
who have kind of.
I would frame this by saying we may be a male person and a lady woman. We're not in that bracket of age, and
No.
so someone in that bracket may feel differently than we do.
Yeah,
I'm
this
just
is
curious as to what your opinion is.
And honestly, the majority of the actresses that I look up to are kind of middle age and upward, and I just think, and people like Meryl Streep, obviously, and Judi Dench, and Gillian Anderson, and Sarah Paulson, and like they're who I, as a 20-whatever-year-old, look up to, because if they've. Oh my god!
Sorry, there was a creaking that would almost suggest the wall in front of us was good. But anyway, it's good.
This place haunted.
Screams, creaking. You're gonna watch the video back, and it's just gonna be you talking to.
Oh my god! Is it like Sixth Sense?
Just the mic floating in the air. Anyway,
Are
sorry.
you Bruce Willis in Sixth Sense? Is this what this is?
Am I Bruce Willis? I don't know. Maybe.
I think he's going bold in that film.
Oh, that ship has started to sail by at least by that time. He really doesn't like it apparently when you talk about the top of his head.
Oh god, I'm so sorry, Bruce.
He's not a fan. But hey.
Really sorry. Blah, blah, blah. But what was I saying? Yeah, I think it is easier to get into the industry and then work your way up and stay there, rather than being a middle-aged actress who comes straight in.
Trying to break out.
Yes.
Into something. The exception is, and this is terrible because I'm normally really good with names.
Oh, I'm like a walking Wikipedia. Come on.
So she won an Oscar for, was it an Oscar or a Golden Globe for playing the mother of the mother in the boxing movie The Fighter. She was the mother of
Crap.
Mark Wahlberg and I'm gonna Google it. You keep talking. Just gonna throw that back to you like a hospital pass. You keep talking. Well, I also
Patricia Arquette.
Oh, it might be. I feel so terrible.
Um,
This is pointing out part of the problem though. So
So yeah, you can't. Yeah.
in my ignorance, I am showing the very thing that I'm not a fan of. But anyway, yeah, that totally. Theory is sound.
Thank you.
Holds water.
But I don't. Who is it?
No. IMDb, that'll do. I honestly, legit feel super terrible. The problem is she looks so different because
You sure
She's
definitely
clearly
who you're
awesome.
thinking of.
yeah. Oh, I'm pretty sure. Yes, Melissa Leo. Well, that I feel slightly better because I've never looked up her name before. But every time I see her in anything, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch that because
You were in it.
she clearly picks good stuff.
Yeah.
And because she's in it, yeah. Melissa Leo. Yeah. She's awesome. Let's see what her first credit is. Let's see. Let's test live.
Shout
your
out to
theories
Melissa Leo.
with Melissa Leo. What was the first? 1984. So that's pretty. Yeah. So I guess you're right because she would have still been relatively young. 1984. How old is she? 1960. Yeah, she'd have been 24. She'd have been our age when she first. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
But I'm quite excited to grow old in the acting industry. And this is just theoretically, like if I do get a decent career, I'm quite excited to be old.
Sorry to interrupt. What you were just about to say?
It's okay.
How would you define a decent career?
Quite like an Oscar.
Okay. All right. There we go. Cool. Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
All right. Sure. I'm joking.
I'm
it's just a
joking.
joke. Yeah.
I'm making enough money to be able to just do it.
Cool. There we go. Perfect.
not
That's
have
what
another
everyone says.
Just survive, really.
Yeah.
I have things that I would like to do. I have directors I'd like to work with. I have theatre companies I'd like to work with, roles I'd like to play. But obviously that's just like a actor's bucket list.
Sure. Yeah, totally.
I'm not interested in being super famous or anything like that.
So I also have a theory to go with your get in early, grow old gracefully
Yeah.
theory, which is so there's been a lot. So I don't know if I may have I talked about it. It doesn't matter. I'll talk about it, and it'll be interesting to hear your opinion.
Okay.
If I've already talked about this, but it kind of seems to me that like particularly film and TV seem like when we're talking in the worst possible general terms, more of a kind of more engaging for a male audience. Whereas things like novels, I think tend to, if you're talking about on a bell curve, tend to kind of appeal to a female audience slightly more. And so I wonder if that has something to do with the kind of people that end up in the thing and the topics they tend to be about as a whole. So please don't be worried that I will be offended if you think what
I'm not
saying
worried.
is complete.
Why do you think that? Because I don't.
Okay, yeah. Perfect. I kind of think that... So, for example, a lot of books or a lot of novelists that tend to be men writing for men, the thing that is noteworthy about a lot of those books is that they tend to be written in a fashion that's quite close to film or TV.
Okay.
Maybe less TV, maybe more film. But so the easiest thing I would do if I was able to like plot data, if you see what I mean, I would try and find every trashy novel I could and see which ones seemed like they were aimed at women and which ones seemed as if they were aimed at men, and then do the same with film or TV, which is now an impossible task given the amount of stuff that's out there. But it seems to me that there are a lot more trashy novels aimed at women, and there are a lot more trashy movies that seem to be aimed at men. But I could be wrong.
Interesting.
I could be right. And also, it's very difficult to prove what's nature and what's nurture.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean, as to what is like, what is just publishing companies going, ladies,
Get it? Yeah.
put pink on the cover, a
Some
woman in a
shoes.
kind of Victorian bonnet,
A
and
scantily clad man.
Let's get this going. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't agree at
Cool.
all. That's very interesting.
Go on.
I think that's
Please do tell
but I
me
want to
more.
think about that. I wish I'd written my dissertation on that.
Because I mean, it's more like I'm putting it out there and seeing how people feel it. It's not something that I'm like, I would get tattooed on my chest as like, this is the case.
If I make you a T-shirt with
You
it
know,
on,
step up and
fight me.
yeah, absolutely. But I just,
Change my mind.
I don't know. Yeah, oh, God.
Oh my god, can that be the thumbnail for this?
Yeah,
It's
sure.
just you photoshopped onto that guy.
Yeah, totally.
That's very, very interesting. And I don't know if it's because I don't know. I've always watched a lot of telly, a lot of films, and I've always read a lot of books. So I've never really favoured one over the other. Also, my degree was in English Lit and Drama, so maybe that's given me some more kind of a more theoretical way of reading literature. But
Maybe,
I don't know.
And it's all kind of anecdotal and all kind of not. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, it's all kind of based on what you've experienced.
Yeah, my understanding
it.
of books and TV. But yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
But I kind of hope that there does seem to be a theory out there that the more equal we get as a society, and the closer and closer we get to people not being judged for anything, if you see what I mean, the more the natural differences seem to become prevalent. So yeah, so who knows? Maybe we'll get to a point where that is the case.
Yeah.
Is that clear, or am I talking rubbish? So like, so like, there's more men in prison than for violent crime
Yes.
than women.
Yeah.
So you would kind of, on average, if I asked you to bet on a generic man and a generic woman, which one is likely to be more violent, you'd probably guess the man.
Based on historical evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'd probably be right more than half the time, you know. More than a 50-50 guess. I don't know, it's interesting. But then the problem is how it's the nurture problem. But I was just curious on your perspective as someone who has a very different perspective than me. So it's very interesting you think in your far more academic research, you think I'm talking rubbish. It's far more interesting to me than you go, oh.
I mean, I think I also depends on what do you consider to be. You don't have to give examples. Like a trashy male film.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
And trashy doesn't mean bad.
No,
it's
of
like
course
that
not.
very specific.
Yeah. So, for example, there was a guy I met who was a film journalist, and he talked about some film is McDonald's hamburger, and some film is kind of gourmet steak.
Yeah.
And if you picked one you would want to live off, you would pick the kind of gourmet restaurant prepared steak. But
Yeah.
sometimes
you want to have fun.
you want a trashy burger.
want to enjoy
yeah.
yourself.
And there's nothing wrong with either of those things. In moderation. But what's the kind of so I would say like there's more kind of male action orientated stuff.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of a good example recently. Although recently everything's super populated by superheroes,
Yeah, true.
which seems to have an amazing appeal across the board. So yeah, so I'd say on average there are more dumb action films, which can be awesome and sometimes not, than there are chick flicks.
Do you think?
I reckon so.
I think recently, yes.
Yeah.
In the past, no. I think late 90s, early noughties was like the prime of the chick flick.
But then it was also the prime of the action film. Oh, it's so interesting. We should
yeah.
compile data.
God
What
damn.
we need someone.
Come back next
we
year
need
when
someone
we
to go-
finish.
You see that kind of corner office that we've got there? We need
Yes.
someone in there who's good at spreadsheets,
We need a
running the
producer.
numbers. Do you know, like at the election when they're trying to guess, where they're trying to guess what the results could be ahead of, and there's stuff like running across the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, we need that. We
That's
need
what we need.
live data. But then again, so you think trashy novels for women?
Potentially, yeah.
What's the male version of that?
So there's a new Bond film coming out.
Yeah.
I find Bond films a bit frustrating in that, particularly more modern ones, because I think there's a kernel of a good idea always in there, but they never really blossom. If you see what I mean. And there's all this and the further we get away from when the books were written, the more the baggage becomes really, really apparent. But for example, the James Bond, Ian Fleming novels are noteworthy because they're written in a very journalistic, filmic like way, so they naturally make the jump. I read a lot of the Lee Child novels. Which
Oh,
is
yeah.
Jack Reacher. Yeah,
See them. Oh yeah.
I like those. They tend to be written like films.
But
as
why
well.
why do you think trashy means written like a film?
Oh no! I'm just sorry. I would put that in male trash because it's kind of, and I love it and buy every one. And if I see one I haven't got,
Male trash is my new favorite.
male trash. Yeah.
I'm male trash.
I'm thinking male trash. But
You're male trash.
so that kind of disposable hamburger type media,
Okay.
and like John Grisham novels as well tend to be about like, or like Tom Clancy books, tend to be
So very almost like a film, like you're reading a film.
There's something I don't know that. So what we're discovering is my lack of knowledge of how to describe literature. Because so far I've said the phrase "written like a film"
a film.
about 6 times, but kind of there's not a lot of talking about the characters' feelings in those novels. It's very plot driven in terms of this happened, therefore this happened, then this happened, and so this happened, and the characters in that tend to make decisive decisions on the fly.
Okay.
Whereas reading something like, to pick the most obvious example, Pride and Prejudice, not saying it's trashy, though that style of book,
Yeah.
a good thing to compare it to, because they're past books. So Pride and Prejudice being the not a lot happens, but it's a lot of how do people feel.
Yes.
Something like the 39 Steps, like a
Yes.
spy novel.
A lot
where
happens.
It's a lot of, you're along for the ride of the plot, not necessarily to dive deep into people's inner beings and thoughts and feelings.
Okay.
And specifically, because my partner reads a lot, and she's a lady person. Last time I checked. It's a horrible way to link those two together. Anyway.
Oh dear.
But reading books she recommends, there's a lot more emphasis on talking about So, two kinds of stories. One where a character has something happen to them, and then how are they going to get through that?
Yes.
Where there's like a physical obstacle in the real world
Yes.
that doesn't always have to be tangible, but is an outside obstacle. I would say tends to be the trashier male version of the story. Again, speaking in horrible generalizations based on my own personal experience. What do I know? I did a creative degree.
So did I.
So what do you know either?
What does anyone know?
Whereas the stories that I see that she is more drawn to is ones where the obstacle is inside the person, and it's something they are getting over either mentally or emotionally.
Okay. And boiled down to its very basic thing, do you feel that books about feelings are more inherently, and like this isn't, I'm not talking.
Are you trying to get me too'd? Are you trying to get me cancelled in the middle of?
I'm not trying to cancel you. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna have to do one of those Twitter apologies.
Can you do an apology video, please?
Where it's yeah, an apology video, but those Twitter apologies everyone's doing where it's a photograph of a
your
letter
notes.
they've written.
Oh no, you write it in your notes and you do a screenshot.
Yeah.
No, but and this is nature versus nurture as well.
Yeah.
I feel like now not so much, but the recent past, you know, with a lot of like kind of toxic masculinity and that kind of thing, books about action over feelings are more male.
Yeah.
And books about feelings are female.
And I think there is a. I'm not necessarily. I kind of feel like I'm talking about this without. I don't think. Therefore, if I were to ever buy you a book, it has to be a book about feelings because
No.
you're a lady person. So.
What book would you buy me?
Oh, that's excellent. Can I think about that?
Yeah, okay, we'll come back later.
But I don't think you should judge anybody based on this. I more feel like I'm looking at it in a petri dish or through in a
Who?
petri dish. Oh, you know what I mean. Or through
a petri dish.
Petri.
Who's a petri?
Oh,
petri
God.
disc?
I don't know. I'm running out.
Is he friends with male trash?
He is. They live together. They're like the odd couple. And every week they sellotape, gaffer tape down the middle of the apartment, and they go, "This is my side. That's your side."
And
anyway,
they say no homo, and
yeah. Hashtag no homo
Okay.
allowed. IRL.
What happened then?
What was the question? Yeah. Oh god.
No,
Steamroll to a halt.
It was about whether feelings are female and action is male. Is what this boils down to, which is actually very interesting.
So there is a thing. I was speaking to somebody else about this today, which is I in no way stand for all men. However, when people talk to me about their problems, while listening to it, I'm often trying to think of a way to solve whatever the problem is.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that comes to a head when sometimes what the other person needs from that conversation is not me going, I'm going to come in and solve the problem for you. What they're asking for is for me to just listen and understand.
Yeah.
And nothing more. And even though I'm coming at it from a good place of I want to help you, I want to share the load, that can be problematic, I think, if that's not what the other person needs.
But would you always say the thing that you would say to help them, or would you recognize that's what you're doing and then recognize what the person needs and then change your answer? Because I think your gut instinct isn't always, or like the thing that your brain goes to first.
Might not always be the best thing to do.
And then the fact that you recognize that behavior in yourself, and then, oh my God, I sound like my therapist, that you recognize that behavior in yourself and then change it, I think that's okay. That's good.
Yeah, so I think up to now, it's a safer bet to assume I just try and solve the problem.
Okay, well,
But it
your
is
task for this week is...
It is a process I'm in the middle of going, you know.
Yeah.
But
You don't have to fix everyone.
no, thank you. I'm doing my best. But it is something in listening to other people's conversations,
Yeah.
creepily on the bus, just behind them. No.
Oh my God.
But in hearing other people's conversations in passing, it is interesting starting to hear that pattern now that I'm aware of it in myself. And yeah, and it's interesting. And I'd like to get to a place where, but the problem is, as soon as that data's out there, somebody somewhere will judge someone else for it being out there. How do you even test that? I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I have seen one on TV.
But I have played one in a play.
Yeah, so whatever.
Actually, I never have.
But yeah, so I was curious on your opinion. And it is very enlightening that you think my thesis is rubbish.
I don't think it's rubbish. I think it's very interesting. I just don't agree. But wow. I wish I'd done my dissertation on that.
What did you do your dissertation on?
I wrote a radio play.
Oh, nice. That's interesting.
I didn't do very well.
Oh, okay. Well,
So, have you ever read Noises Off or seen Noises Off?
it sounds really familiar. I've definitely not seen it. I may have read it.
So, it is a play about a play, and
Wait. Let me just listen to that fourth wall breaking.
oh, fourth wall.
Ah,
See what I did there? So I wrote a radio play because it was about what happens over the stage management cans.
oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
And I was always really interested because I always found it really funny being in a play and then also seeing what happens on,
Yeah.
like hearing what's happening backstage.
Uh-huh.
And it kind of roughly followed the plot of Oliver.
Oh, nice.
It wasn't very good.
No, but yeah, but it was your dissertation, so you were working through something.
Yeah. And writing is hard. I've realised now I'm much better at being told what to do and what to say.
Yeah, I'm very lucky in that.
I think you're good at everything.
Yeah,
Very lucky in the fact that I'm...
full stop. And that I see a problem, being bad at writing, and I solved it.
And then I solved it, rather than
No,
listening to their feelings.
I have a very good writing buddy
Oh,
who is a writer, and he's great with writing advice.
that's good.
So if you want, you can send it to me. I'll pretend it's mine. Send it to him, and then his feedback I'll give to you.
Okay.
All right, unless it's rubbish, and then I'll just
And you're
decide
like,
it
oh,
immediately.
no, it wasn't mine.
Yeah,
It wasn't mine. I
I'm
found it
sorry.
on the street.
Abort.
Get rid of it. What is this?
But no, yeah, it's tricky, and it's yeah, it's interesting. So I am working on something at the moment, and it doesn't pass the Bechtel test currently. How should I feel about that, Charlotte? Do I cram in a passing of a Bechtel test? That feels very cheap to me.
It feels
Or-
like you're shoehorning it in.
Or should I not be dictated to by that? And I got to admit, I'm open to either.
Well, it depends what it's about. It
Uh-huh.
depends where it's set.
Okay.
It depends what you're trying to... the atmosphere you're trying to create for the audience.
Mm-hmm.
If this is a non-equal world,
Mm-hmm.
then
That's
maybe
true. Maybe it's fine.
it's fine because it's
It's speaking to.
set aside from the plot. What you want the audience to feel is a separate thing to what's actually happening.
Yeah.
So if you want the audience to feel
Uncomfortable.
like, excuse me, why are you only talking about men all the time?
Ah,
Then maybe that's
smaller thing.
an actual.
Maybe it's a choice.
Yeah.
Maybe I made a choice.
Maybe you made a choice and you didn't even realise it, and I
That's
just
probably
helped
true.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
And whatever it is, if it makes money, I want some of it.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I can sleep easy on that there, knowing.
I don't know. That's very difficult, and it's always very difficult with anything to do with that. If it's in there, are you just shoehorning it in for no reason?
I think I would be. So it is. I am adapting something. And in the thing, it doesn't pass. If you see what I mean. The thing I'm adapting it from
Does not pass.
doesn't pass.
Well, then-
So I can sleep easy.
Oh my gosh.
It's not my fault. I was only following orders. Who said that?
God. Boxer said it, so it must be true.
There we go.
It's another George Orwell for you.
So I did have something prepared. Speaking
Oh.
of shoehorning in, we haven't touched it at all.
Oh my God.
Do you want to just do it quickly?
Yeah. What is
So
it?
what I did was I was worried, and I shouldn't have been. I totally shouldn't have been, because I just dragged you in, I sat you down, I turned the lights on, and then away we went.
And like, people are screaming outside.
know.
Your ceiling's going to fall in.
I
Like, it's
know.
madness.
But I was
You
worried.
don't like Ellen DeGeneres, and you think feelings
What?
are for women.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've changed.
Hashtag brave tweet. I don't like Ellen DeGeneres. What I did was I found some weird and wonderful news stories.
Right. Do I have to guess if it's real or not?
No, that's a good game. I wish I thought of that. We'll do that next time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the headline, but I'm going to remove a piece of key information. I'm curious as to whether you can guess what the key information is. So we start off nice and easy with you can now buy Megxit merchandise inspired by what?
Inspired
Megxit.
by... Well,
Megxit.
yeah, I know what makes it is.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. It's Meghan Markle and Harry leaving.
Perfect.
Is that right?
Ding in one, yeah. You
Cracking.
can now buy Megxit merchandise inspired by Meghan Markle and Prince Harry quitting.
Wow.
Such things as a T-shirt and a mug. Okay.
Do you want a Megxit t-shirt?
Okay, so now they're going to get a bit trickier.
Okay.
Okay. Blank pizza labeled unholy abomination.
Whoa. I don't know, but I want it.
Okay. Well, have a guess. What do you think it is? What kind of pizza was labeled an unholy abomination?
Hawaiian.
It wasn't a Hawaiian.
No. Is it a food type?
It is, yes.
What else is disgusting? Oh, tuna on a pizza.
Oh, no. You're incorrect, but Also
Also
correct.
correct, yeah.
I've never known someone be so correctly wrong.
Very passionate about pizza. Is it something that's not normally on a pizza?
Define normal.
Like, is it like steak and chips,
Oh, it's not steak and chips, but you are heading in the right direction.
fish and chips?
It's not fish and chips.
Is there chips?
Lose the chips.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spaghetti bolognese.
No, I'm going to give it to you. It's
Okay, can you tell
it's kiwi pizza. And by kiwi pizza, I mean the fruit kiwi, not the country of kiwis
Or the bird.
or the bird. Yeah, I specifically mean the fruit.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it kind of looks like eyes on a pizza. I'm going to zoom in to show it to you without you.
I don't like it. I also don't like hot fruit. So cooked fruit. Oh, I
Oh,
can't.
yes. I didn't even think of that. Do you think they cook it then? Oh, okay. Questions.
Do
We'll
they
come back
put it
to
on
that.
fresh, or do they cook it on it, or do they cook it before?
You have to eat it. Which do you prefer?
Cold, because I can
You-
take it off,
Oh, no, you got
eat
to
the
eat.
kiwi, and then
You do it
eat
separately.
the pizza.
You save it for dessert.
Wash it.
Which do you eat first, kiwi or pizza?
The kiwi.
The
Get it
kiwi,
out of the
okay,
way.
okay.
Get it out of the way, and then because then at least I've had some fruit, and then treat myself with a pizza. And if I'm full, then I can have half the pizza the next day.
Oh, that's genius. Okay.
Meal prep.
Man suffers what after taking sexual stimulants used to breed bulls?
Good God. Man suffers.
This is quick fire now. Come on.
I'm sorry, I wasn't. I was really thinking of something. I don't know. A cold.
No, good guess.
Blindness.
No.
Unholy abomination.
Oh, close.
God.
No.
Possessed?
3-day erection.
Oh my God.
I'd like to know at what point he
I can't-
decided enough was enough and he sought medical attention. Okay, so now we have. Oh, yes. Husband pranks wife by getting picture of what tattooed on him?
His ex.
Oh, no, that's a good one.
Ellen DeGeneres.
No, it's not generous. No.
A kiwi
That
pizza.
would be great, though, if it came full circle.
Her.
It is her. What's she doing?
Oh God. Naked.
She's not naked. She's snoring.
Oh.
How you capture that
How
on
do
a
you
tattoo?
capture that?
I don't know. It must be a
Is there a picture?
foot of her asleep. There is. We'll come back to it.
Okay, cool.
Okay. What launched during 1976 Olympics washes up on beach?
Message in a bottle.
No. Good guess.
A ship.
No.
A whale.
No. You're thinking
a
too
yacht.
laterally.
Oh, is it not something that lives in water? A yacht?
Sounds like yacht. Not quite yacht. Kind of sounds a bit like yacht.
What?
Yogurt pot launched during 1976 Olympics washes up on beach.
Wow. What kind of yogurt?
Oh, good question.
See, I
Can
want to know these details. You caught
Well,
me.
it's got kind of apricot colours, but it was the 70s, so I bet it was just beige yogurt
Cocaine.
taste. You know what I mean? Okay, ITV news reporter tricked into wearing what to hold koala?
A bra.
She probably
little
will. I'll give
koala-
you half a point.
Koala bra. A onesie.
No,
A pouch. A tree bark.
no. Oh, tree bark.
Did she dress up as a eucalyptus tree?
She didn't dress up as a eucalyptus tree.
I don't know.
She was tricked into wearing body armor. So they told her she was actually going to be doing a piece with a ferocious tiny bear, and it was actually a koala.
Actually, no. To be fair, you can get chlamydia from a koala.
So she was, yeah, but how's body armor going to help you? So it's kind of paintball gear, I'd say, that she was in,
Okay.
rather than. Come on,
I'm
Charlotte.
sorry.
That's just ridiculous. I know that was very, it's very harsh.
my God.
Man wakes up to find burglar. What?
Is Ellen DeGeneres?
No. I told you she wasn't nice.
Asleep.
No, but that's brilliant. Spooning. It's not spooning.
Oh,
It's not.
that's cute.
Yeah.
Dead.
No.
Naked.
No, he's doing something to the man that's asleep.
Cutting his hair.
Oh, you're really good at these.
Thanks.
I wish your headlines were correct.
He's doing something to him. Feeding him. Paying his face.
Painting his face? No.
Dressing him up.
No.
Paying his nails.
No.
Okay, I don't know.
Sucking his toes.
No, that's the worst thing.
I would like to say I have no idea if any of these are true. These are not fact checked and verified. But what I can tell you is they're all genuine headlines from reputable news sources.
I hate that.
Yep, imagine.
Imagine if you've got a dog and you're like, it's just a dog.
Okay, what rescued after setting fire to house? If you say burglar sucking the toes of a anyway.
Say Ellen DeGeneres.
No.
Rescued after setting fire to a house.
Yep.
Old age pensioner.
Oh, you're kind of close though.
A grandma?
Think 1 foot in the grave.
Oh my god.
That's a deep cut reference.
What?
So did you ever watch 1 foot in the grave?
No.
Oh, okay then. Forget it. Keep going.
A dog.
Okay, no, but it is an animal, and they are
cat.
feeling something. In inverted commas.
Feeling.
Yeah.
Cat.
No, not a cat.
What? Not a dog. Fish.
No, you're running out of steam. It's angry tortoise.
A lizard. Oh.
And there's a picture of the angry tortoise. It
He
does
look-
look.
he's fuming.
It does look mad. Okay,
He's just looked at his pizza and it's got kiwis on it.
I know absolutely.
Sorry, were you like flicking me away so I didn't look at it?
I didn't want you to look at the other
Oh
thing.
my
So the
God.
last but by no means least. Oh no, we got 2 left. Thousands of what wash up on California beach?
Kiwis.
No, it's not kiwis. It's
Um,
all right. Okay, it's not kiwis. It's not Ellen DeGeneres, and it's not a yogurt pot.
Robbers sucking toes. No, I'm joking. Plastic bags.
No, think injected himself with the bull stuff.
Penis fish. Penis fish.
Yes.
Fish that look like
Oh
penises.
yes. There
Yes!
we go. There we go. You said that so many times. It's going to be tricky to. Do you have to bleep out penis? Probably.
Oh.
Probably. It's fine. I'll do it.
It's a scientific term.
It is. We've also had erection. Anyway, to balance it out.
Have we?
Well, teacher wears.
You're also going to have to sound mix my horrible laughing.
That's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
Teacher wears what to teach students anatomy?
Oh, morph suit, like a body morph suit.
Ah, yeah, correct. So you've really come into your own. Yeah,
Thank
she wore
you.
an
They're so cool.
anatomically correct. Is it appropriate though? I hate to be that guy. They're skin tight.
And it's a body.
I suppose the age of the student. Yeah, I don't.
It's anatomy.
It is. Yeah. But then, would you feel comfortable with a teacher in a morph suit that fitting that wasn't teaching about anatomy?
I'd be confused,
Okay.
but I think I'd be all right.
You'd let it slide.
Yeah.
You'd go explain yourself. Okay. I think that's it.
You do you.
That's all I got.
That was fun.
No, you're
I
welcome.
got 2.
Yep. Good job. That's more than I thought you were going to get.
Oh,
Penis fish for the win.
great. Thanks so much.
Well, because they're, weird
Very
and wonderful.
obscure.
Yeah.
Cool.
You're welcome.
was
do you
fun.
want to end on that? Or have you got anything else you'd like to add? Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah. Oh my god, thanks for remembering I'm doing something. I'm doing
I'm going to put a caveat out there. Who knows how long it's going to take me to edit this? But I'm going to do my best to do it by the end of the week.
Okay.
Can you still plug your thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, go for it.
Yeah. I'm going on tour
Okay.
next week and in March and in April.
I'm going to cut all this out.
Doing a tour of DNA by Dennis Kelly.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you were learning that last time. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's on the GCSE curriculum now. So we're going to schools. So obviously you can't come, whoever you are. But there is a show at the Alma Tavern in April that is
okay.
open to the public. And booking's going to go up for that really soon.
Oh, that's going to go quick because the theatre's small.
Small.
How many nights are you doing there?
Just one.
Just so.
So get in.
Get in
so
quick.
if you're not there on the front row, Dom.
Yeah, I know. Smiling.
No, and so that's really cool because I did it for GCSE and I was obsessed with it.
Nice.
And I loved it, and now I'm getting to do it for kids so that they can see it and learn about it, which is really fun. Yeah.
Awesome.
You doing anything?
So, I'm always hesitant to talk about the stuff I'm doing on podcasts because so far there was about a year where everything I mentioned I was going to do completely fell through.
Oh no!
So I'd be like, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that, and then it just, and I did other stuff. But what I realized coming to the end of that year was everything had been like, this is going to happen.
You're cursing it.
Didn't work. But
Okay.
I can tell you something I'm trying to do.
Oh,
And
what's
put it out there like that. Well, so I, as part of my dissertation, I made a short film about an artist street artist, and I'm trying to talk to him and persuade him to do a gallery show in Bristol that will
wow.
have some like theatrical elements to it.
That's cool.
He doesn't really want to do it, so it's more going to be, can I persuade him that it's a good idea before then? I'm also trying to persuade him to have some kind of online presence, because at the moment he doesn't really, so I'm like, dude, you know, basically I'm going to try and make sure he has as little work to do as possible other than... But anyway, but it'll be fun. So, yeah, so he doesn't really want... I don't know. It's tricky.
Okay.
I'll explain more later.
Okay.
But that's April.
What? Oh, April.
What? No, Easter time.
May.
That's April, May.
Okay.
Easter, April, May. But who knows?
Yeah.
That's up to him.
Easter,
Oh,
April,
and the
May.
way to get him to do that is not to bother him about that. If you know who I'm talking about, and or do find him online, don't bother him about it. I'm on it.
Oh. God.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
High
That was
five.
good fun. Do you have socials of any kind? You're
Yes.
on Instagram. What's
I
your
didn't
Instagram?
know what you meant then. I was like, am I social? No.
Yeah,
Leave me
but
alone.
you pretend to be online.
Yeah. My Instagram is Charlotte_McEvoy. My
Cool.
Twitter is Charlotte McEvoy with a 4 for an A because I'm cool.
Okay.
That's it.
Nice.
Pinterest, but you don't want to follow me on there.
You have a Pinterest.
Maybe.
Oh.
And a Tumblr.
Pinterest is very girly, but that's all.
Oh my God.
That's a whole thing for a whole other time. Thank you.
Bye.
Hey, this is me and Charlotte from the now for us. Further in the future than we were last time.
By about 30 seconds.
By about 30 seconds. That thing we talked about before still exists. So some of the topics we talked about were quite heavy. I certainly talked about them a little bit clumsily. So we wanted to continue that discussion on a different podcast that we'll link to wherever you can. So if you enjoyed this, or if you didn't, if you just want more, there's more of everything elsewhere, and we'll link to that. Is that okay, Charlotte?
Yes.
You happy with that? Anything to add? Because I realize you just nodded, which for people just listening in headphones.
Oh my God. Sorry.
No, I totally talked over you, so that's okay. No
No,
need to
I-
apologize. I'm sorry.
Getting that it's visual. It's not visual. No, I think that sums it up really nicely.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.